Welcome back to this second session in the module on the character of a leader. It is great to have you with us. In the last session, we noted that character was defined as, to quote Aubrey Malphus, the sum total of a person's distinct qualities, both good and bad, that reflects who or she is, being, and affect what he or she does, behaviour. In seeking to broaden out our understanding of character, we also noted that character is the inner life of a leader. What a leader is unobserved, is the true evidence of our spirituality, is revealed in a leader's life under pressure, and is the product of our experiences and choices. Then we focused on three primary biblical themes that encapsulate godly character: likeness to Christ, fruit of the Spirit, and practical holiness. Now to a big question: how is character developed? Well, God uses many things to mold a leader's character from the inside out. Three major characters will be outlined that God may use to transform a leader's character. Number one, through a leader's interaction with people. A first way God changes our character is through our engagement with people. And it could be, A, our family. You know, there's an old saying, you can choose your friends, but you can't choose your family. Do we honour our father and mother? Are we getting on with our siblings? Are we treating our family in a biblical way which honours God? See, God can use those closest to us to shape and mould our character. B, marriage, the relationship between a husband and wife. God often uses our spouse in the special relationship formed through marriage to work in our lives. When people get married, there is a lot of adjustment to make. Marriage is the ultimate place to express selflessness and to speak into each other's lives. Husbands, do you love your wife as yourself, imitating Christ's love for his church? Wives, do you recognize and respect your husband as the spiritual head of the union, remembering also that our marriage and family is our primary ministry? C, church family, one another. Leadership ministry is essentially about leading, influencing, and developing people. Aside from self-leadership, the most difficult aspect of leadership is the actual engagement with people. To transform our character from ministry, the Lord does not call us to live in isolation, but appoints us to lead flesh and blood people in the real world. The people we lead are all different and full of variety and complexity. Think of the multiplicity of people's personalities, temperaments, racial backgrounds, social status, values, education, worldviews, thinking bases, and life's experiences. It is demanding and stretching for a leader to relate across this diverse spectrum. Consequently, many leaders inevitably experience hurt, resistance, or opposition. Normally, these things stem from misunderstanding, misinformation, or misinterpretation, or sometimes through a leader's own poor decisions or actions. And often the most painful things that happen in leadership, aside from tragedy, come from what other people do or say about a leader. Godly character is formed by responding in a mature, biblical, and appropriate way to people who hurt a leader. And God will often use people's criticisms, conflicts, or confrontations to expose the areas of a leader's character that need development or change. It is vital that leaders keep a right spirit, maintain an attitude of forgiveness, and demonstrate continual grace. A growing leader must keep their heart unpolluted by bitterness, offense, or disillusionment. And D, people in general. God can use people around us in the broader community to change something in us. So, a first way God changes our character is through our interaction with people. A second way God changes our character is through the work of His Spirit. His power and His presence in our lives transforms us. A biblical picture of this is the Transfiguration. In Matthew 17 verse 2 records that on the mountain Jesus was transfigured before them. His face shone like the sun, and his clothes became as white as light. Mark's Gospel adds that his clothes became dazzling white, whiter than anyone in the world could bleach them. All that Jesus was on the inside became visible on the outside. He was translucent. The glory of who he was as God in flesh suddenly visibly blazed from within. The word transfigured translates the Greek word metamorpho, from which the English word metamorphosis derives. Importantly, the word metamorpho is translated in two other New Testament passages as transformed. Romans 12 verse 2 reads, "Do not conform any longer to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind." And then in 2 Corinthians 3:18 it says, "And we, who with unveiled faces all reflect the Lord's glory, are being transformed into his likeness with ever-increasing glory, which comes from the Lord, who is the Spirit." Scientifically, metamorphosis describes the process of fundamental transformation from the inside out. It is a biological process by which an insect, amphibian, or crustacean physically develops after birth or hatching. A relatively and radical abrupt change takes place in the creature's body structure and is usually accompanied by a change of habitat or behavior. For example, there are 4 stages in the life cycle of a butterfly: egg, larva, which hatches as a caterpillar; pupa or chrysalis is where the caterpillar forms an outer shell called a cocoon, and this is when a fundamental change takes place and the body of the caterpillar is transformed into an adult butterfly. And then adult. The butterfly emerges from the cocoon. And this is a picture of the Spirit's work in our lives. The Spirit is God's indwelling and empowering presence. He is changing us, transforming us into the likeness of Christ from the inside out. We are going through a metamorphosis. We're not what we were, but we're not yet what we will be in terms of our character, conduct, and behavior. We're in a time of radical change. Now, before concluding the point, let's ask the question, what was Jesus doing when he was transfigured? Luke's account records, chapter 9, verse number 29, as he was praying, the appearance of his face changed, and his clothes became as bright as a flash of lightning. As Jesus was praying, he was transfigured. In other words, as he was in communion with his Father, a fundamental change took place. What was on the inside became visible on the outside. And the lesson for leaders is that as we spend time with God each day, our character is being changed, transformed from the inside out. So in summary, in answering the question of how our character is developed, we've noted the first 2 of 3 ways. Number 1, through a leader's interaction with people, and number 2, through the work of the Spirit. And next time we'll cover a 3rd way the Lord forms and transforms our character. I'll see you then.